Hello and welcome back to the Declassified podcast. I'm Jacob.
I'm Kirk.
And I'm Trevor.
Yeah, today Trevor is here in the studio, live in person.
The second only of ever of a three-man in person with video.
Ned's Declassified.
Session. Ned's Declassified. Right.
So that's a big fine print for you right there.
Yeah.
Welcome, Trev.
Well, I'm glad to be here. This is fun. I like we got the whole setup going. This is a good time.
I think it was a good episode too. They were both good episodes.
Yeah, they were solid.
I remember this episode actually, specifically the first half.
The science. Yeah, I remember the science.
I very vividly remember that one.
I also remember Mose being strung up in the second one.
I don't remember that as much.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd go more the scientific, especially like the stuff with Cookie in the last part of it when it gets really chaotic and crazy. That's classic shit. I mean,
good stuff.
So what are we drinking here, Kirk? You've got the
so one beer here that we've both poured ourselves 2 small glasses.
Yep. So
maybe 4 to 6 ounces worth of liquid.
None
in
of
each
us
of these
have had
glasses.
any of it yet, right?
I tasted a bit. I tasted a little
Kirk.
bit of this, but I guess we'll do a cheers.
Okay, so we'll do.
So this is the can. This is the one.
We're going into can territory first, and it's a Swamp Pit always has nice can art.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Lime sherbet hazy pale ale, brewed with lime, vanilla, HBC 692
very nice.
hops and Nelson hops.
That's really good, actually. I'm digging that.
And it's a very good. Yeah, that's nice to drink.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Yum.
Very good.
And then I brought that one, and then Trevor brought the Quintessence rum barrel aged sour ale with banana, coconut, and vanilla. And this is from San Diego, California.
Yeah.
Came in this cool. It looks like a sake bottle.
It kind of does. Yeah, it's like a little wine bottle. It's got a lot of sediment.
Oh, it has
a
so
lot
much
of sediment in this.
I don't know if you can see that on the GoPro here, but yeah.
Yeah. There's so much gunk in the bottom of my glass.
Let me try this one. I haven't tried this one.
That's good though.
Packed with flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that's like a sour right there.
That's a sour. Yeah, I like a tart sour.
Oh yeah, no, it's so tropical.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
Mm-hmm. I'm digging that.
Premium.
Yeah.
Was that from Tavor?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Is that on my big beer box that I got? Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
How long do you think that's all gonna last you? That supply?
A little while. I've still got some.
How many? You said that was like a couple $100 worth of beer, right?
It's like $250 worth of beer. Yeah.
Oof.
Christmas gifts. So.
I mean, craft beer. You know that it adds
They're
up.
pricey.
It does. It filled up my mini fridge. Most of it's being drunk on various podcasts.
Is that mini fridge in your room?
No, it's in my garage.
The garage one, gotcha.
It's next to one of our 2 deep freezers.
Nice.
And
Deep freezers full of like a full steer.
It's not. Yeah, I guess it was a steer. I'm sorry.
Full
Nice.
of some a deer that you found.
There is some
dead roadkill. You just
That's
picked
still
it up.
fresh.
We don't do roadkill.
Well, your neighbor was like, I
Food
hit this
anyways.
deer. They give you the tip. They're like, if you go and pick that, it'll be still fresh.
There is some venison and stuff in there.
I did it this morning in my car. That shit's still gonna be good.
That was at the intersection of whatever. Yeah, he
To be
tells you
fair,
where
if
it
you're
is.
the one that hits it, that's fine. If you find it, that's not fine. But if you're the one that hits it, whatever.
What if
yeah.
you find it and you can tell it's fresh?
I still wouldn't trust
I'm sure that happens more in like Michigan, places where
Michigan
there's a lot of
specifically.
deer.
Why
Yeah.
Michigan?
There's a lot of deer there. That's what. Ted
Well,
Nugent's
no,
from.
Alaska,
Oh.
because then it's so cold that it's still fresh. You
Yeah,
know?
you find a dead moose
That's a
on the
moose.
side of the road.
That's a moose, though.
That's good eating for months.
Yeah. And when you're out there in the sticks in Alaska, you got to get what God gives you. Am I
And
right?
moose are horrific. I mean, moose are like twice as big as deer.
You ever seen one track
Yeah.
down a person?
They're huge.
They're massive animals.
They're predators.
And they're mean. They're
Yeah,
angry.
They can be mean.
They're predators.
Deer can be mean. Deer can beat the shit out of you.
No.
I'll beat the shit out of any deer.
Yeah, I would take.
But a
deer.
moose, mm-mm.
Never.
Moose are moose are cool though. I've been like pretty close to a moose.
I
You ever ridden a moose before?
Never ridden a moose.
Has anyone ever done that in any civilization? Ever put a saddle on a moose?
I think I've seen a picture of Teddy Roosevelt riding a moose. I feel like.
Was it photoshopped
Are you
or
sure that's
legit?
real?
There's no fucking way
I think
that's
it was real, dude.
I've never heard of that.
I'm not thinking riding a moose is a real thing. I'm sure some.
It was like an advertisement for his like bull moose party that he started.
Yeah,
it was just
probably.
like him riding a
that
moose.
could be. I'm sure that there's somebody sometime in human history who
was crazy enough to do it.
drunk on whether it be just
Moonshine.
modern stuff or if it was like back in the day, like they just got drunk off of that cheap, horrible
Moonshine.
wine, and they were like, "I'm gonna ride that," and they
Yeah.
snuck up and jumped on it and died.
Port wine.
But
So the first part of this episode was science fair.
Science fair. Sweeney naturally is the teacher of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Like you typically there's like one teacher that's like the feature teacher,
Yeah, the feature
Yeah.
teacher.
and that's a good name for them.
I
Yeah,
like
we haven't
that.
coined that yet until
no,
now.
yeah. So,
Feature
but he's
teacher.
the feature teacher of the episode because he's the science man, and he's explaining to the children the scientific method is what they need to basically get.
He very poorly explains it in the episode, though.
I mean, first of all, he roasts Ned. He
He
just
does
straight
roast
up
Ned.
roasts Ned.
And he had that prop ready.
He did have the prop ready.
He presented his own science experiment, which is that he's going to prove that Ned is lazy,
Is a bastard.
is potentially smart, but lazy and a fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, he ruined his own experiment because you cannot, unless part of his experiment that he didn't show was seeing his own influence on Ned, by therefore telling Ned about his experiment, he has then contaminated his own experiment.
Because his ultimate hypothesis is like, let's see if Ned does poorly at the
Yeah.
science
Yeah,
fair.
but
So
by
he definitely the experiment's fucked.
Yeah, experiments.
It's not an experiment. You're right. So that doesn't.
It had an
No,
end
no,
goal.
you're right, because that's an ineffectual science experiment on Sweeney's behalf.
Yeah.
But to be devil's advocate here, really Sweeney's goal is not to be scientific, it's to be psychological and to
Well, yeah.
egg Ned on.
That's
to-
different from being a science experiment, though. That's
Yeah.
just him messing with Ned.
But you're right, that's a poor way of actually teaching the other students,
Yeah.
especially.
You got to have like a control group, and in this case, it's one person is who you're experimenting on, so you can't really control group that person. Unless,
Plus, he's blowing Ned's spot up. That's not right.
yeah. I don't know what that means. What?
Blowing up his spot, like putting him on blast.
Oh, okay.
He roasts him.
I
Yeah.
know putting him on blast. I don't know blowing up spot. I've never heard that term.
Did you guys ever do a science fair experiment?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did you have to? Were you
Yes,
required
forced.
I was not required to. It was extra credit, which of course I wanted, even though I was already getting A's.
to? I'm trying to think.
I
whether
only did them
needed
in
to or whether
elementary
I just
school.
did it
Mine
for
was
the
in
fuck of
elementary
it.
school and at the Catholic school.
Yeah, mine was in elementary school, and I think we did something with batteries. I don't know what exactly it was.
You didn't pick your own experiment?
I mean, this was so fucking long ago.
Mine
dude.
would have been 6th grade. Yeah.
I think I had to do one for 7th.
I didn't do one in 7th grade.
Maybe.
And I didn't do one in 8th
No.
grade. That's
I
for
want to
sure.
say 7th because 7th grade was when the science teacher was homeroom teacher as well.
I want to say in 7th grade, I don't even remember a science fair. I mean, in 8th grade, I don't even remember a science fair happening.
I don't remember science fairs happening in middle school at all. They didn't happen.
Elementary only.
Elementary only.
I didn't participate in
Fair.
high school. In
Maybe
science
I
fair,
did.
if we
The
Yeah,
only-
4th grade. Like 4th grade.
Yeah, I did it
Yeah.
4th and 5th grade.
Yeah.
The only fair thing I remember in middle school was like all the gifted kids like dressed up as like people in history, and it was bizarre.
That's
That
not a
sounds
science
sick.
fair.
Well, they had no. It was like I said a fair.
a
It-
fair?
Like a
Yeah.
medieval fair?
No, it was like a
had a
history.
That's what
French
you're
fair?
describing.
It was like a history fair where they like
dressed
they
up
had
like they
like
were from the
booths and they
past.
were like dressed up like I'm Abraham Lincoln. I'm fucking
My name
Einstein.
is Albert Einstein. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we did that for 4th grade. I think I was Bush.
you were George W.
Hey
or
everybody.
HW.
You're like
George
you're like
W. Bush.
you're
That's
like
not
Will.
even history.
I
You're like
know.
when he was the current president.
We
You're
had
like
other
Will
people
Ferrell's
as
impression
historical
of him?
presidents, and then me and another person were George Bush and his wife. Who I
That's
forget.
just parody at that point.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Will Ferrell that used to play him on SNL?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he
Like-
did like his whole routine.
That
with him.
thing. Yeah.
A bunch of people have played Bush though. A bunch of comedians.
Yeah. Ned has a really loud black and yellow shirt on in the beginning of this episode. That I
Oh, he
took
does.
I didn't
yeah.
notice.
Um,
Oh, but I did notice. My very first note is that the California Republic flag is back.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that it went away.
What do you mean?
What do you-
I've talked about this for multiple episodes in a row. I've mentioned that the California Republic flag has been gone.
I wonder why they're raising and lowering the California Republic flag.
I mean, obviously they're pulling it to half mast when someone is executed at the school.
We've never seen it flying at half mast.
No, it's just it's either been
It's out of shot.
Great.
Once it's at half mast, it's out of shot.
It's either been there or the flagpole and the flags are completely gone. They've like photoshopped it out.
I mean, is this a real building that they're filming?
You saw the exterior shot. That
I
was
did.
legit.
And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much, but I think we can mention it here in the next episode. There's another exterior shot that's noteworthy where
Yeah,
she-
that's the one that I was hinting at.
We see the actual parking
ultimate
lot.
exterior shot.
we
Real
see the
quick.
parking lot, which we never seen
So
before.
you don't
But
really remember your science fair experiment.
back to episode 1
No.
and a half.
Do you remember doing this? What yours was?
Yeah, I think I literally I know I did one with magnets at one point, and that was like something to do with like
How do magnets work?
It was something like that. Is like I think I put one part of a magnet on top of a thing and then other part of a magnet on the underneath of some sort of a plane and moved the magnet or something.
And you're like, if you do it this way, they stick. If you do it this other way, they don't stick.
And I was like,
So-
I figured that out.
Okay.
And the science teacher was like, "Fuck, man, he just discovered that shit."
He discovered magnets.
So
What the
that's
hell?
how magnets work.
Mine, the one science fair experiment I remember was seeing.
I think I don't mean to. I think I also did do a volcano at one point. Like
You did
the,
do-
I
the
did
most
that-
stereotypical.
I did a
fucking thing you
volcano
could
just
do.
as a project, and that was in middle school.
Okay.
I don't ever remember.
And
doing
then what did you do?
I did to see if caffeine makes plants grow faster.
Did it?
My very botched experiment showed that it did.
Nice.
I did coffee with caffeine, which apparently I had to fill out extra forms because caffeine is a controlled substance.
Oh, you know what? I think
Apparently.
you've talked about this experiment back
has.
on the Drake and Josh podcast.
Did
I know I've heard you talk
Oh,
about the experiment,
Yeah.
not necessarily at length.
Shout
like
out!
you are
Shout
here.
out the Drake and Josh
Listen to the Drake and Josh podcast. I guess.
podcast where I think it must have been one of the science episodes where like he did a science fair versus Mindy. One of those.
True.
You know what? You're super
True,
right.
true.
I did talk about this. So, all right. Listen to that if you want to hear about more about my.
No,
experiment.
you can't just do that.
Okay, fine.
Finish
yeah,
the
I did
story.
coffee, decaf coffee, and water on 3 different plants.
Did water do the best?
Wait, what was
No.
the plant type?
I don't remember.
A fern?
Okay.
It was something I got from Lowe's. I'm
Fern
pretty sure.
Gully?
Yeah.
And
A
I
house plant.
messed up and forgetting to water. So to extrapolate my experiment, I went, how much did they grow? And then just went out from there and then submitted that as the actual answer.
That's not even an experiment.
I know. It was a botched experiment.
Sick.
I'm so far out of school at this point. It doesn't matter. They can't take that away from me.
They strip you of your middle school degree. Do you get degrees?
Cookies.
I didn't.
Cookies' love interest of so far the series, I would say.
Vanessa, yeah.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
She's a grade older than him.
Yes.
She's
eighth
in
grade.
the 8th grade.
I think I was here whenever they got together the first time. I think that was one of the first episodes.
The
I was
math
on.
class episode.
You didn't see Cookie push Grandma down the stairs?
That was a different
That's
episode.
how she got in the
That was
wheelchair.
an actual episode?
That's not how she got in the wheelchair.
Was that an episode when he pushed her down?
He did.
Oh, I wasn't. Okay, yeah, I didn't see. I don't remember.
So
that.
that's why it's like, so Vanessa comes over to Cookie. She's like, listen, dude, I can't be with you. My grandma doesn't want. And it's like, okay, fair enough.
But also,
Right or wrong?
Who's her grandma to say who she's dating?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, but Grandma got pushed down the stairs
Does
by this guy.
Grandma-
So it should be up to Vanessa. You think Vanessa would have enough integrity in her own fucking soul to be like, dude, what the fuck?
This is Simon Nelson Cook we're talking about. He's
He
suave
slings
as fuck.
that dick.
Yeah.
He learned from Gordy.
Gordy's got bimbos.
Gordy's got game.
I don't know
Does
if you
he?
knew this. Oh, yeah.
I don't remember this from watching back in the day.
There's an episode where he had a girl on just to read lotto numbers, and she was so dumb, dude, she couldn't remember the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was one of his tricks.
One of his tricks.
Is Gordy a pimp?
Something like that.
It's not verified.
But anyway. Yeah, Cookie is like, well, that's horseshit. I want to be with you. I love you and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she was like, nah.
Is Grandma her mom? Like, does she not have like a mom and dad?
You think Grandma's mom? Grandma can't take care of her. She's in a wheelchair. If anything, Vanessa's
She's
taking
old,
care of her.
She's old enough to take care of her.
I don't
and
think
for-
that's the
for-
situation. I don't think
Okay.
Vanessa comes across like she comes from a very together
Stable
home.
household.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
I'm just saying that's the vibe I get from her.
That's a good. I mean, that's fair enough. I don't have enough context. I saw whenever she was first introduced, and then this.
We don't know how long that Grandma has been in the wheelchair though. Cookie pushing her down the stairs didn't help her situation.
Do you think
at
it's
all.
like
Was
a?
she walking when she got pushed down the stairs?
No, that was a joke I made.
Okay.
You think it's like a Jess type
No, but it's
scenario
even
where like
worse.
the
She was in
grandma
a
lives with
wheelchair,
them?
and Cookie was like, Cookie actually dipped her out of the wheelchair down the stairs.
did.
That's what she did.
Why did he think she
Because he
could
didn't
walk?
believe that she could.
He,
Yeah.
he was trying to prove that it wasn't actually a grandma.
He thought it was some
thought
other
it was a
person
setup.
in a disguise.
Why would he think that?
That's a
She
good
does
question
look
because she
young.
looks real. She looks like a real old lady.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. But still, why would he think? Oh, whatever. Okay.
Try some sediment.
Yeah. no.
I'm almost to the sediment, and I'm like sipping around it.
Ooh, that's sour.
But Cookie's science fair experiment that he's gonna end up
makes me pucker.
that he's been developing and wears throughout the episode is like basically an Iron Man
Yeah.
arm and leg
An
thing
exoskeleton.
that he puts
This
on. He
doesn't
calls it a
exist even today.
maxoskeleton.
It's a mech suit essentially.
A fight suit.
But only one arm and 2 legs. Why is it not the other arm as
Right,
well?
one arm and 2 legs.
He didn't have time to make the other arm.
It's like a crab. You have one big,
The big pincher,
and
yeah.
then one small.
He's got the small for the dexterous.
You see how hard it is to maneuver shit with the powerful hand.
He doesn't
you,
have
you need to
dexterous
have
movement down pat, so he's got to have one hand for like
yeah.
dexterity and the other
Because
hand for
everybody
power.
that wears the thing destroys. It's almost like a metaphor for power in and of itself.
Yeah.
Everybody with the glove destroys
Extrapolate on
everything they
that.
touch. If you have the power glove, you
Yeah.
can't handle it. It's like the ring. You have to
That's
destroy
true.
it.
That's true. Are
Thoughts?
you at the sediment?
Mhm.
Ooh.
I'm leaving it. That's done now. I'm not.
That's
drinking that
done? You're
sediment.
not-
I
have
would
this-
say power through it because that's
Chew
good
on the sediment.
probiotics.
I'm not chewing on that sediment.
That's probiotics.
And you
It's
need
not
that.
probiotics. I don't think
Well,
It
for
is.
sure.
Technically.
Bacteria.
it's in a like what that was in a rum
You
barrel.
need that in your stomach there. The first person who gets destroyed by the glove, Cookie multiple times murks Ned.
He like backhands him.
He backhands Ned, and Ned
He
gets
does.
knocked the fuck
like
out.
like a proper pimp.
He puts Ned out.
Backhand.
Ned is then in a frantic search for a science experiment
Yes.
to pull together.
Yeah, because
he's had a week to do this apparently.
Sweeney thinks he's just going to do that dog shit paper towel experiment.
Yeah, like he's talking about it the day before. Sweeney is, but Ned has had a week to do this because Mose brings up that she spent a week doing her which wood is the strongest experiment.
And I still want to know because they didn't say
They
what
never
wood
told
is the
us.
strongest.
That's a good point. They don't ever say anything about
I'm
that.
gonna say
they tease
hickory was up there. Hickory's a hard wood.
Balsa's at the bottom.
There is something called ironwood, which is a real thing. I don't remember
Is it
what.
spelled with a Y?
it. Is it spelt with
Instead of an I
umlauts
at the beginning?
Does it have umlauts?
I don't think so.
How many umlauts are in it?
I know we have a piece of it at my house that my dad is saving for something.
Saving for what?
I don't know, but it's hard as hell. So
Ned makes a wind. Well, he Googles, I guess, a science fair experiment that could be a wind turbine with solo cups. Ned
Wasn't
makes
that
it,
one of the tips? It was like you can always just like look up online to see if find an experiment.
Yeah, it's like use the internet, dumbass.
Yeah, the tip was just plagiarize.
yeah.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
as long
there's.
as you do the experiment yourself.
That's true.
I don't think anybody expects a
middle schooler to come up with their own experiment off the top, off the dome.
a 100%
I did.
original. Like you're trying to actually
I
add
did.
knowledge to science. Like you're trying to come up with a new. You're trying to learn something
Yeah.
for the human race.
You write a thesis and get a doctorate in middle school. They're like, honestly, this passes. Fuck.
But yeah, Ned uses Dixie cups, creates a thing. The giant fan, that bit
What was
returns.
the last time you used one of those tiny little paper?
When's the
Dixie
last
cups?
time you saw the giant fan of Ned's Declassified?
It has been since Gordy brought it onto the volleyball court when he was trying to dry it off and everybody was falling all over the place.
Yeah, Gordy has allowed
I don't know what
Mose, I
episode
guess,
that
to
is.
rent it out, or he's
Gordy would
lackadaisical.
let them use anything.
Obviously, but this is big technology,
Dude, Gordy's chilling and he's literally got a pager on his belt and it'll just say one of their names and he knows that they need something. That's what I think.
He knows he's got to go bail out one of his.
Yeah,
one of
it
his
either is
girls.
going to say Ned, Mose, or Cook, and he's like, fuck, we got something we're doing.
Oh, them. I thought you were talking about the
no,
hookers.
It'll be one of his strumpets. It'll be like
one of his strong. No, then it'll just say boobs.
it'll say
Z.
it'll say dick. I need that dick. Gordy, I need it.
All right, this is getting a little bit crass,
my
guys. This is getting a little bit crass.
I was just saying he was a pimp.
But I'm talking about the giant fan. That's a gag. That's a recurring gag on Ned.
Yes, it is. I
Yeah.
think I even remember the recurring gag of the giant fan.
It's overpowered. It
Yeah.
is not. It would not be as powerful as it is portrayed to be, obviously. But
Well, it almost blows Ned out of the freaking room.
it does blow him out of the room. Doesn't he
I
go
don't-
outside?
Oh yeah, it does.
blows
yeah,
him out
the
the window.
ragdoll body. I
Yeah.
forgot about
It blows
that.
him
I don't
literally
think
out
it
the
would.
window.
A fan that size would definitely knock him over. I feel like, but I don't think it would blow him out the window.
Right. No. But it breaks his science fair experiment. His measly little Dixie cup turbine. He's like, no.
What is
And,
his
um,
experiment with that Dixie cup turbine? What's
how
the
wind
hypothesis?
works.
That wind is power.
Yeah, that you
But
can store.
That's not a hypothesis. I need
I-
a proper hypothesis. And on the topic of that, what is Cookie's hypothesis?
That mech suits can make you strong.
He made a cool thing.
That-
Don't get me wrong, but
Mech
that does,
suits make you strong.
that's not a hypothesis.
Mech suits help
What
you
were
get
the
the girl.
hypotheses in fucking Drake and Josh when they did their big magnets?
There wasn't. I think I was mad about it back then too.
It was just let's see how strong this fucking magnet is.
That's an invention
Just
fair.
check
That's not a
this sick
science fair.
magnet out, dude.
That's all it was.
His big magnet, like
Look at this.
he could
Isn't
have
this
a
crazy?
theory of like adding extra coils to this magnet would increase its power by this percentage or something along those lines.
The coils.
But
Sweeney calls Ned a
This-
mad scientist.
I don't get the mech suit. I don't get I love it, but I don't get what the science experiment.
One of the
behind it
things that
is.
we notice is that Jennifer Mose comes over to Ned after Sweeney comes over to Ned and like roasts him, and then she says he can't rank on you like that.
Yeah, rank.
You
And
can't-
she uses it like it's a normal term.
It's not.
they're not in the military. A, B. He is the teacher, so I guess he can rank on you technically.
if
He
you
has
wanna-
the
He's ranked
authority in
higher,
the
yeah.
situation here. So
I never even thought
That's a
to,
crazy thing
to
for her to
take
say.
that meaning of rank on you.
I didn't either. I thought it was like
like
that-
a literal rank
like
over
that's
him.
rank.
Yeah,
like
like-
stinky.
Yeah, that's some ranky
you
ass
ranking
shit.
me, you ranking my
Oh,
chain.
you rank.
That's ranky. That's stanky and ranky.
Yeah, stuff
That's
like that.
I don't think anybody says that.
Stanky, ranky.
Man, that shit's fucking rank.
Cookie gives the science fair experiment he's been working on, the maxoskeleton. He bestows it to Ned, which everybody's seen fucking Cook walking around wearing the thing, developing
but
it.
Sweeney hasn't.
Hasn't he,
He
though?
did. I thought.
Sweeney's
How could he
dumb.
not? Sweeney is like fixated on Ned, I think. Sweeney has like a fixation on Ned,
And it's disturbing.
right?
Are we gonna get a Lifetime?
He
movie
like
out of
focused
this?
because this is not the first time he has single-handedly tried to get Ned to act right and only concerned himself with Ned and none of
Well,
the other students.
He sees
be
Ned
fair,
that has
Ned is the
potential.
protagonist in this universe
He
and
is.
in the reality. In reality, Ned is somehow the protagonist.
People do approach him, not in this episode, but later on, and talk to him about
As a god
Hey,
amongst men.
you write tips. Give us a tip.
Well, he's a go-to guy. He's kind of a guru figure.
Yeah, he is a guru.
He's
isn't
also
he?
kind of like a private investigator.
like the
in some
movie
ways.
Love Guru.
He's been.
That's a great movie.
That's
a great movie.
That movie
dude.
is so dumb. It's so funny.
That ruined Mike Myers' career.
Did
That
it?
was one of the last.
He wasn't in any movies after that.
He had a
I don't think he
cameo in
wanted
the
to.
Queen
He-
movie.
He was in a couple more Shrek movies, but nothing in person.
He was the producer guy that was unrecognizable as Mike Myers in the Queen movie,
Right on.
and he spoke with
I
a
haven't
Scottish
seen
accent.
The
Oh, okay.
Queen?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh yeah.
That was like the one movie from that year of the like nominees that I didn't watch because I didn't want to see it. I heard it was.
alright.
I heard it
think
wasn't
I saw
very
an
good.
image of him
was
because I
alright.
haven't seen the movie, but I think I saw an image of him as the producer.
The stuff with them playing live was cool, because it's like
The
wow,
what
that's
stuff?
impressive. When they're like when it's Wembley recreated and they're playing in the arena, it was pretty impressive because it looks.
Oh,
like,
you're talking about the Queen movie.
I'm talking
I
about
was
the
like-
Queen movie.
I was like, from
It's
this
so
episode,
funny.
what the
No,
fuck
we're
are you
not talking
about?
about it. Fuck. That's the last thing I have
This
to
is
say
now
about
the
that.
Queen
That's the last
podcast.
thing I have to say about that.
We have
Everybody
changed.
has seen Cook with a
Is
thing.
that
blah,
the
blah,
scene
blah.
from Live Aid? Is that what you're talking
Oh
about?
no! Then we get into the science fair. So
Okay.
there's different sort of stuff. There's extreme weather things. We have the
Mold bread?
the 2 water bottles. That's a
The
cyclone.
moldy bread one's a good one. That's an actual science fair.
That's
experiment.
Lisa's-
Yeah, I
Zimos.
liked that one.
That's a
That
good
one was
one.
good. The tornado in a bottle thing is not an experiment.
That's not an experiment, unless he like variations between. But he only
He's
had
talking
the one
about
bottle.
fluid dynamics, dude.
Yeah, but if he,
What is he proving?
If he had a couple
They
different
happen.
bottles,
They're
I could see
predictable.
him like maybe experimenting with different sizes between like. The
I bet
gap
if I
between-
turn it over, it'll spin around like that.
It won't. Not unless you really like whip it around.
You gotta whip it around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just gonna glug.
Yeah. It'll just.
Yeah.
The bitchy chick, Missy, right? Missy has a
blonde hair.
static electricity experiment.
Her thing
She
is
got a
just
Tesla
that
coil.
static electricity exists.
She's like, check this out.
She bought one of those balls from
Yeah,
Spencer's and
yeah.
then spray painted it silver, and then she.
To be fair, that's supposed to be a knockoff Tesla coil. Straight up.
That's what it
that
is.
looks like. It looks like a knockoff Tesla coil because it doesn't have all the actual coils on it. It's just the top part.
Tesla coils are dope.
Do you know what a Tesla coil is?
I know it from Red Alert. When you'd build one, it looks like a Christmas tree, but it's coils, and it zaps and destroys
Exactly.
people.
That's right. And you can
Okay.
create a Frankenstein with it.
Anyways, there was
Is
a
that not what it is?
There was a Tesla coil in Dr. Stone, which we just watched.
Is that not what it is?
Kinda.
Exactly. Then fuck off, Trevor.
All right.
Speaking of controlled substances, fucking Quirley's experiment, he's using nitrous oxide.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's experimenting with hard drugs also in his experiment.
That's what he
nitrous
just
oxide.
said. That's what he just said.
No, I meant
Controlled
like
substance.
heroin and shit.
Oh,
How do plants act when you give them heroin? How do plants act when you give them nitrous
the nitrous
oxide?
oxide greenhouse experiment was kind
How
of
do plants
interesting.
act when you give them cocaine?
I would like to know what happened.
He's
within
just
us.
dumping a pile of cocaine in the soil.
He's cutting a line and he's smashing a
He
flower.
does it. He doesn't even give it to the plant.
it.
How does this
He's
work?
on drugs. That's why he thinks all this works. But yeah, the nitrous oxide comes into play later, obviously.
Well, yeah,
you don't just
they
have
can't
that.
set that up and not have it pay
Yeah.
off.
Right. Ends up happening. Mose is the subject for Ned's science experiment, so she puts on the apparatus.
'Cause-
She puts on the power glove.
And he refuses to let her eat.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
he tries to let her eat. He tries to let her eat one of those Nutri-Grain bars.
He
The
takes
Nature
her-
Valley.
Well,
not
Nature
Nutrigrain.
Valley, and those
Well-
things are crumbly as fuck. So they got that
And
right.
they're the hardest things on earth.
Yeah,
They've never made a harder thing to eat.
they're edible.
Barely.
edible.
They're not eatable.
You better not bite it straight on. You got to bite that shit on
You gotta,
the side.
you gotta molar bite
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you can't like cutter bite that.
You're
You
gonna
gotta
cut
molar
your
bite
mouth
it.
up.
You'll destroy those teeth. You'll chip every tooth.
Cut the top of your
You're
mouth.
gonna chip your teeth on it.
It's like biting a metal bar.
Oh, it's like with
There's
the
a bake sale concurring at the same time as the science
Odd,
fair.
It's fucking
right?
sour like a warhead, man.
I think that's
What?
genius.
It's fine. It's good. He hates the sediment beer.
No, I think it's good, but
It's
I
just
think
so
that it's a
sour.
good idea to have the bake sale at the same time as
the
the
bake sale
science
is a good
fair.
idea, especially if you have parents coming. Like
Yeah.
she brings the grandma.
I saw no other parent.
How else are
didn't
you
either.
gonna afford? To
I don't
put-
think this was an open event.
Oh yeah, but open to the public.
Grandma came.
Yeah, I don't know how she was allowed in. She didn't even have a visitor badge
Vanessa
on.
said that
These
grandma
things
was
happen
for science
after hours.
experiments.
This was post 9/11. She had to have had a visitor badge on.
I assume all this is going on at like 7 p.m. at the school.
What do you think a pre 9/11 Ned's Declassified would look like?
I think
Is
it would
this-
look very much the same.
Do you think
Yeah.
so? You think this is in a universe where nothing ever happened?
It could be.
They're never on a plane or anything. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it's what's
Not
gonna
yet.
be different?
That'd be a weird episode.
Did they not get on a plane later in a later episode?
They do like an episode similar to like
Actually, the plane gets hijacked.
do an episode similar
Ned has
to
a
It's
school
Always
survival
Sunny,
tip.
where they're trying to drink as many beers
It's
as
like an episode of 24 happens.
Boggs or whatever the guy's name is.
Ned has like, make sure when you go on planes, bring a plastic knife in case you have to stab a terrorist.
What? You got to learn Krav Maga. That way you
Yeah.
can take them out with your own body.
So what happens?
What are we talking about?
Nitrous oxide experiment. So Mose has superhuman ability. So she's on the treadmill. She's going real fast. That was a cool effect.
Twice as fast? She's definitely on a green screen. You guys were talking about it was like one image.
We
they were-
don't know how they achieved it exactly.
I am gonna guess.
I
green
think it was.
screen.
I think it was three
Analyze?
or four. I think it was 3 or 4 photos that they just mashed into the video.
I think it was a green screen.
What would be sick is if we were like one of those YouTube channels that tries to recreate visual effects from things, and then we could try and see how they did it and actually do that. But we're not.
We could do that.
Netheads, do that.
No, we could do that.
I'm gonna go.
I got a green screen.
Maybe
Not
someday.
with me, but I'd have to go get it.
That would be a whole to do.
That'd be a hell of a thing. Mose eats mold bread.
Mose does eat mold bread.
Was that before or after she wrecks all the baked goods? That's after that.
That's after that.
Because Mose takes Vanessa and Graham over to the
Gam.
Yeah, over to the bake sale. He's
What's
like,
the
let's go over here
Gammy.
and get some baked goods. And she's like, hell yeah, walnut brownies or whatever. And then Mose comes over in her suit, and she's a monster, so she just destroys. She just clears the table with her robot hand, trying to grab a brownie. She eventually struggles.
This is after Ned tried to pay for the meal, and he never got that money back. I guess he paid for every single baked
He
good that got
did.
destroyed.
That's what he paid for was his $2.
It's like the lunch. I would like to think
And,
the
like,
lunch lady
flicked
was
it at
running
the
the
guy.
bake
Can we
sale.
talk about the fact that he handed that guy wadded up money? How rude.
Was it actually wadded up?
It was so wadded up.
He throws it at him.
He took it out of his wallet. It was perfectly folded, and then he crumbled it up and tossed it at the guy's face.
It was wadded. To be fair, it was wadded in one direction. It wasn't like he wadded it like the short way too, but it's still wadded. Like you got to have that open so they can count and see what you gave them.
He crumbles
Listen,
it
he's
up
a
and
middle
just says,
schooler,
he
man.
says,
he
"Fuck
probably doesn't
you."
even have a fucking wallet. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? He probably has a sick Velcro one
Mine
If
was a
he
Velcro.
has a wallet, it's a Velcro wallet.
with a
Mine-
chain attached to his pants.
If you're lucky.
My wallet was blue and had like this like plastic green like crazy design on it.
I had a Velcro Buccaneers wallet.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course.
I don't know what I had.
That was my first wallet. It was dope.
Mine's leather now. I got an adult wallet.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
we find out Cookie is allergic to, I guess, walnuts. Is that what it is?
Wait, are you bi or trifold wallet guy?
Mine's a trifold.
I'm a bifold guy. You
I,
buy
have
or
a- I just have a money clip right now. Actually, I'm rocking
Oh.
a money
That's
clip.
sick.
Yeah,
He's a money clip man.
it's my dad's. It's very.
Oh
it's very
yeah,
very
yeah, I
cool.
do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All three. Tell us, guys, what is your preferred wallet method?
We'll
You guys,
we'll put
maybe you have a
a-
Ridge
We'll put
wallet.
a poll
We'll
up.
put a
Sponsored
poll
by
up.
Ridge Wallet. No.
Sponsored by Clark's, because I think that's what my wallet
Mine's a
is.
fossil.
Ooh.
So
Kirk, go ahead.
Mine's from Mexico. Cook has an allergic reaction, so his face gets all bloated and like horrific looking, like a monster.
It's only on one side of his face, though.
Yeah, it's basically just like a big bulbous tumor that
It
forms.
starts out looking like he's just chewing a jawbreaker.
It looked the most horrific at the end.
Yeah.
Right. It becomes crazier
But
as
it's
the
part of the
episode-
gag.
Right, which is good. I appreciated it. I like the visual humor of it. I always
Yeah.
like when people have that allergic reaction gag, I feel.
Yeah, it's a classic.
He should
It
have
is
an
a classic.
EpiPen. Why doesn't he have an EpiPen?
That happened in Drake and Josh too, right? At some
Oh,
point.
of course.
Everyone.
It happens in every show.
Yeah.
Every
Allergic
show
reaction.
on Earth, there's an allergic reaction
But
gag.
for laughs, not for like any serious stuff.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Well,
Well,
yeah, we're not watching fucking ER or
We're
Grey's
not
Anatomy
watching
or anything.
dramas.
I want someone to jab an EpiPen in their leg. Like, why is
Right
it
in their ass,
in their chest, right in their heart.
in their ear.
right in the taint. Mose eats the mold
Did you
bread.
say
That's
the
when that
taint?
happens.
I think he said taint.
And then,
Oh, okay.
and then Cookie is wooing. Essentially, he's trying to win over Grandma. Because
Yeah, Gam Gam.
he's wheeling in. Gam Gam's got PTSD, no doubt. She's
Yeah.
being wheeled around by the fucking dude that
Well,
tipped her out of the goddamn wheelchair over the stairs.
She
Yeah.
also can't think about anything other than like
She's not
the
the same.
past, and she can only
She's
think
not
about.
been the same since he pushed her down the stairs.
She has.
She just
has
recites
early
manners.
Set, early set dementia. It's not early onset, but it's early stages of dementia. 100%.
She
I
knows
mean-
who Vanessa is.
Yeah, she knows who everyone is,
And
but
she knows who Cook is.
She's got
She
the
doesn't know who-
fixation
And her
on the
late
past.
husband
But-
may
But does she know
God
that
bless his
Cook
soul.
is the man that pushed her down the stairs?
I think
She
so.
remembers, yeah.
'Cause she
Yeah.
says later he's not a monster, and then a little bit later after that, she's like, "Wow, he really is a
But
monster."
I do believe in her mind that she just kind of will see him as a monster in certain moments if she looks at him like too fast or something like that.
This
you know?
episode further gave her PTSD, no doubt, with the
Oh, yeah.
events that occurred.
Oh, she's done. I think she's.
They're gonna have to incur her in a assisted living facility after
Yeah.
this one.
Oh yeah,
Or
she
like
might
one of
already be.
those-
You
or-
don't
That's
know.
the
what-
next episode.
Or one of those coffin
It's just a
hotels
small-
that they have in Japan.
It's a
Why
1-minute
would
scene
they
in the next
incur-
episode.
Well, Matrix her?
they could
Put
like trap her in there.
her, put her in the Matrix.
That'd be sick.
We were
There-
talking about this today.
Though there's it's almost like eventually Cookie gets the suit back on him. I don't know how
Mose eats the moldy bread, gets water on the
she gets
suit.
violently ill and polluted. She's get poisoned by mold spores
Yeah,
essentially.
and so she's like, "I got to go to the nurses."
And she wets the suit like
she
you were
wets the
saying.
suit.
Yeah,
and so
she-
she takes it off, goes to the nurse's office, and then Ned's like, "Cookie, you
she
gotta
actually
put the suit back on."
she actually drinks the cyclone
She
experiment.
does ruin the cyclone experiment.
And this is all because Ned has not been able to wear the suit because he's too tiny.
He's a small boy.
He's too small.
Yeah,
Do you relate?
it would
I
cwould
do.
his bones.
Actually,
I think
no,
it would
because
crush
my
him to wear
friends
the suit.
have usually been similar sizes to me. You're the tallest one. Kirk and Kat are both like very similar size to me.
Especially in
I
high
am
school, we
tall.
were all
Yeah.
remarkably the same size.
So it would have been fine. Everything would have worked.
I would have been the one in the suit.
Yeah, you would have been. And well, you're very thin though, so it might not have fit you because it was just sliding off of him.
That's true.
He needed someone thick.
Mose isn't thick.
No, she's not.
Mose is not thick. I don't get why she. If it's not a height thing, then why does she have to put it on?
Well, she is a woman, so she might have had thicker thighs than him.
Bigger hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Childbearing hips.
There's good like
That is
Frankenstein.
a child,
Oh my
Trevor.
God. There's good. That's puberty. There's good references
Hashtag
to
cancel Trevor.
Why me?
No, there's good references to Frankenstein as Cookie is,
Deformed.
deformed and unable to control his limbs.
Why is he not able to control the one that's not in the suit?
Yeah, I noticed that one too. That one still like raises up when he does the Frankenstein
It's like-
walk.
Yeah, he does the
It's
Frankenstein
not being
walk.
controlled. Also, that's gonna be painful. Your muscles moving against your own will. Is
You pointed out he
some
does it
sediment
almost.
in there.
He almost does. He does like the one arm raise, which is almost like a Doctor Strangelove involuntary thing.
You said at one point, or which one? One of you said at some point that he was Heiling Hitler. At
Well,
one
that's the
point.
Doctor Strangelove arm raise.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
The
Oh,
Doctor
okay.
Strangelove
Because
thing
Doctor
is- yeah.
Strangelove is a Nazi.
Have you
in the
seen that?
movie.
I haven't.
You
That's
gotta
a
get
great
up on
movie.
your film history, Trevor.
Yeah, it won't be on Show Me Something though, because Will has seen it. It's on my list and he's marked it.
Oh.
I mean,
What-
you could still. We gotta eventually hit the list where
We will eventually.
Okay.
Ned ends up giving the tip, don't be too ambitious,
Yeah.
right?
I'm gonna refill our beers. You guys keep
Don't be such a tryhard. Don't try to like change the world with your science fair experiment. That's a
Grab
silly
the-
thing to try to do. You're better off just, doing something that, like you said, has a true hypothesis
Yeah.
that you can either prove or disprove
And then
to show that you understand the scientific
the
method.
paper towel experiment's fine because you have a hypothesis.
True.
an experimentation method.
Yeah. That's why Lisa Zemo's experiment was so good.
Her experiment was great. She knew what she was going for, and did it.
But Cookie also does end up. Another man gets punched in the face. Sweeney ends up getting completely murked. I think he probably got a cracked orbital. He gets he has two completely black eyes.
At the very least, his nose is busted.
Well, he didn't have anything packed in his nose, but his eyes were fucked.
His eyes was Okay, he could have a cracked orbital.
He might. I don't know.
It's a robot.
Yeah.
That thing is twice the force of a normal man.
Is that what they said? Twice the force?
They said because they were talking about Moe's running twice as fast. We gotta assume that.
It looked like she was running like 3 times as fast.
It looked at least 3, maybe 4.
I think I'm ready to start rating it, I guess, but I'm just trying to vamp
time
here.
for Jacob.
But anyway, the mold spores, Dr. Strangelove, Sweeney, Ned. I think Ned didn't learn a lesson, right?
He kind of did.
You think he did?
What did you put in this?
Wow.
The one that we tried.
That's massive.
Oh.
Look at how tall that beer is.
That's a lot of beer.
I did the one that we tried, is what I said.
Yeah, I think I do like this episode. I was like teetering in my head. I'm like, dude, is this going to be the first 9 that I give? I don't know.
Have you given up to a 9 so far?
I've never given anything more than an 8. I think I gave an 8 maybe once.
Really?
I think. Have I given an 8.5? Okay. I've given. I know I haven't given a 9.
Okay.
I know I haven't given a 9.
Okay.
Right? You think Jake is looking at me like he
Jacob's
thinks
glaring.
I've given him a 9 or I've given an episode a 9.
Why is mine so much bigger than y'all's?
Yours is massive.
got
Why
not,
is mine
son.
so much more?
But to be fair, it is just the one beer and like a tiny last bit of mine that I couldn't fit in.
Why did I
You
get
just
the
mixing shit.
No, they were the same beer. They were the same one.
This is the
Miller Lite?
non-sediment one.
Yeah,
we
the
just had.
non-sediment. But what so I was in the kitchen and I was making faces at Kirk. But so
No, but I'm gonna give it a.
I do think that you may have given something a 9. I may have given something a 9 if I was too drunk at the very least.
I think this episode deserves a 9, so I'm gonna give this episode a 9, regardless of whether or not it's the first 9. I don't. Who's to say?
Who's to say?
At the very least, a rare 9, a sparkly rare.
Yeah.
A shiny?
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
definitely
Pokemon?
a shiny. You want to go ahead and rate it, Trev?
Oh, I'll let you go. I'm the guest. I guess I go last, right? Is that how that works? I don't know.
Yeah,
Not a
there's
format,
no.
really.
who
I haven't
knows?
been on a Ned in a while, so
We have no rules.
okay.
I'll give it, I think, 7 out of 10. Good,
Different on
unremarkable.
that.
It's just because I didn't laugh enough out loud when I was watching it. There was
No,
a lot of
yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff that happened, but I wasn't laughing enough.
I
No,
want to
that's-
give this. Oh,
That's
sorry.
fair.
You want to give it what?
I want to give this a higher score than I'm going to, but the lack of experiments that show any sort of real,
Yeah.
like, what would the scientific method behind it be?
You are a science boy.
I guess I'm the science guy now for some reason.
You've marketed yourself as that.
I don't-
on 3 different podcasts.
I haven't marketed myself. I've stated that I enjoy science.
You're Trev Snide, the science guy.
What are you
Okay.
giving it?
7.5. It was funny, but the lack of scientific method at certain points kind of annoys me.
You think it's like a missed opportunity?
Yeah,
That's fair.
it's not hard.
And
to-
that's rare.
it's not hard to attach a scientific method to something. Just,
Yeah.
but there was no attempt at
Says
certain
you?
points.
It's just kind of asking something in the form of a question,
I guess.
Yeah.
right?
But like even with the vortex one, all they
Like,
had
what
to
if
do
I
was
did
add
this?
another vortex bottle.
It's just
next
asking
to it.
something in the form of a question and then guessing what you think is going to happen, and then seeing what happens.
There's
right?
more to it than that.
Nah, dude.
You have
That's
to have
it. dude.
variables and all that.
In
fun
middle
stuff.
school, that's it.
Yes, in middle school. I was in middle school when I did mine. It was hard.
You must have been advanced.
I was at Catholic school, so a little bit.
Wow. Let's move on to the second
F2
part.
study hall.
Wow, we're only just now hitting the second half.
Starting off with, like you, Jake pointed out, we had to roll the episode back actually to.
Yeah, there was a really sick, extra wide exterior that we've never seen before. We saw like a bus loop in a parking lot.
Yes,
It was amazing.
we saw blacktop.
I loved it.
Super wide.
You never get to see that. The farthest you ever get back is the fucking like sidewalk out front of the school.
Mm.
It was cool to see.
This episode, what's nice, it does pick up right after the last episode. So
It
Mose
does. They
has
do
a
have
pinched nerve from damage caused by the super suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first time I think I've seen that.
Yeah,
The
it's
first time you
happened
guys-
before,
It's
but this is a
happened
very
before.
overt. This is a very overt. It hasn't happened this overt many times.
Yeah.
Have there been any episodes that were like straight up 2-parters though, where it's like
Yes.
a normal full episode?
dance?
And they
Yes.
just, okay.
I think the very first one you were on with us, the dance episode, was a back-to-back one.
Oh, it was
Back in season
wasn't it?
1.
True.
Back recorded at my old apartment.
That's right. I forgot about that.
We
Look at
find out Ned's been failing his tests, which
That's a classic. We don't
that's
even
not
find that
new.
out. We just know that.
I do
but
lo-
he addresses
But
it
he's
almost
like,
it's a
guys,
new
did
thing.
you know that I'm failing everything? He's like, yeah, Ned, actually, we know that you're just like a dirtbag, like that can't somehow pass middle school tests, which are like the easiest things to ever pass. in
It's
the
like some guy going like that's addicted to like junk or something. He's like, I'm on the junk again. It's like, oh, you're on the junk again. Oh, okay.
world. It's,
Ned, you're on your bullshit again. Ned's on his bullshit.
It's ridiculous. Who the fuck fails middle school tests?
That was my first ever F was in middle school.
Ned doesn't ever
Shut up.
stop
It
being
was
on his
it was a
bullshit.
spelling test though.
Yeah, you can't spell for shit.
I can't spell even now.
You weren't in the spelling bee.
Hell no. I couldn't spell.
That's a previous episode.
I
What
did-
were you in the geography bee?
I actually did pretty good. We did do an in-class geography bee, and I did pretty good on that.
Fuck yeah.
Not as good about that
I'll
nowadays.
take you, bitch.
This guy's
I'm sure you would beat me.
what is it? A school?
Huh?
Second time you were the B runner up.
I was the runner up to the person who won the nationals.
but this was
Wow.
at the school level. This
Yeah,
you're-
I didn't
you
make
didn't-
it past school level
okay,
because of
okay.
him, because he won the nationals.
and
That
then he
makes
ended
you
up
feel
winning
good,
the
though.
whole.
You would have gotten the
made me
nationals.
feel trash.
He won the most you could win.
Yes,
He won the ultimate.
he won the one.
He's the ultimate warrior.
He won.
I thought you
That's
said he got
sick.
runner-up.
I got runner up. He won is what I
Oh,
said.
he won. See, you would have made
But
it to
he got-
nationals if he wasn't in your
No.
school.
That's not fair to say, but
I think that's fair to say. How close was it?
I mean, he didn't get anything wrong.
How many did you get wrong?
I think at the end I probably got like a couple wrong because like
Then you wouldn't have made it to nationals.
well because like yeah, well, you know, it's middle
Gotta make
school.
no
I also
mistake.
didn't study for it, so
Well, that's pretty good then.
But Ned is like, I gotta study in study hall. Like, I'm going to study hall. I'm actually going to study because he's on his
also
bullshit again.
did you guys
he's
did you
always
guys have a
like,
study hall? I didn't.
I wanted
yeah.
to ask you guys if you had a
study hall was sick.
You had a study hall.
In 7th grade, I had study hall. We would just fucking hang out in the cafeteria
Hang
at
dick?
the table. Sometimes they would give us fucking laptops to use, and
What?
we would try and find the proxy to get around the fucking blocker or whatever they
What
had.
were you downloading?
We would pull up games. We'd play balloons. We'd do different
Play
shit.
balloons, hell yeah, dude.
Sometimes you look up porn just to see if it pulls up, not to look at it, just to see if it'll
Sure.
happen.
As a shock factor. We did that in high school.
right.
We didn't pull up porn.
I was not the one doing it, but that was other people doing
Exactly.
it. And I was,
by proxy.
I
you know,
was-
you were looking
I
up
was
and shit,
there.
You were like, what's going on?
I was like, you guys are wild.
You're like, that's signed into your account,
Let's
man.
play balloons.
Let's
Let's
play.
play
We played in high school. We played tanks. Like in my photography
Okay.
class, we had like the tank game. Me and a friend would just play that.
Tanks with a Z at the end?
I don't remember how. I tried to find it.
Tanks with a dollar sign at the end?
But study hall would vary
It
a
was on
lot from
Newgrounds.
time to time. Like sometimes you would actually be doing some work. Sometimes it was complete Wild West insanity.
Like this episode.
yeah,
Who was it? Was there a teacher in there with you?
yeah. They would
Or
usually
did they just lock you in a room?
there would usually be like a teacher sitting some like.
Was
like
the,
over
were
at
they
one
did
of the-
they teach a subject or were they just the study hall person?
I couldn't even say.
Dude,
I
can
don't-
you imagine that? You're just a guy who sits in study hall and it's like,
They could have been a
Fuck me.
staff member that doesn't actually have a teaching degree. They're just like literally, we need an adult here to supervise, and so
what are they gonna do?
No way.
You're not gonna have any respect for a person who doesn't even teach you anything. They're just some joker in there.
You're a babysitter.
That was
That's what you're calling him.
at my school. That was Coach Giles, and
I'm a
he
big
You
was
say
baby.
Coach Jowls?
Giles. He
Coach
was
Wait, Jackie
Giles.
he was a
Jackie Childs?
He just rode around on his golf cart around campus. He taught. He didn't teach anything. He was a baseball
Giles.
coach, and he just rode around and was
Baseball's
the
a dumb sport. Let's move
guy.
on.
And he
True.
broke up fights and yelled at kids. That was kind of his
What a
whole thing.
bastard.
Oh, fights being broken up is classic. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
you
al-
never catch a fight.
It's always
They'll always
by a
get broke
coach
up.
too.
It was
It's
either
always a
him
coach.
or the resource officer, Officer McDougal, who was a cop who just stood on our campus.
I've
and
only
like-
ever caught the
Google.
ends of fights. We've talked about this on the
Both
Dead
of
Talk
them
before.
were very large.
He's the
men.
most Irish man you've ever seen in your life. He's dressed like a leprechaun.
Classic. They could both throw.
He
a
looks like
person.
fat
He has
bastard.
a badge on.
Fat
He
bastard
does. He was a
Scottish.
cop. He had a cop card.
Yeah, fat bastard. Oh fuck.
But yeah, Ned goes to study hall. Turns out study hall's lit because Mr. Lowe is the sub, and he has no
And-
authority over anybody. Mr.
and-
Lowe is the guy that's a loser.
Lowe is
Right.
limp and weak. The only person he has authority over is Cook because Cook is a baby.
Trying to go to the bathroom, and he has the authority of the
This
hall pass.
motherfucker. All right, so Vanessa came and was like, listen, we got to talk. So, like, I want to talk to you in the bathroom. 20 minutes, doesn't specify what bathroom, what gender, or just fucking where in the school.
Meet me in the bathroom.
There's got to be
20
multiple
minutes.
bathrooms.
Meet me at the bathroom in 20 minutes is what she said.
Yeah, and
Why 20 minutes? That's so long.
Yeah,
Like,
she already had the pass.
Well, she's an 8th grader, so she can control time.
That's true. But, like, he should have done what she did is what I'm saying and just gotten the pass immediately like he was going to do. And don't say shit. Just fucking leave the room. The teacher's going to think you're taking a fat shit.
Why didn't she just say, meet me at the bathroom now? I already have a hall pass. I'm going there now. Just get it now.
Or just like, right, let's cut the horse shit.
We're
We're here together right now. Why don't you tell me what you have to say?
Well, I get if it's a longer conversation, she can't just stand at the door. But
And
still,
maybe we'll find out what this big talk is in the series finale.
Because
I would
there
love to know.
is-
Or the
because-
season
Oh, yeah.
finale, not
And
series.
it's important you say that because there is no closure to this.
this is an open-ended plot point.
Yeah, it never comes
She's still
back.
waiting at the bathroom.
She doesn't have any resolution in this episode. She doesn't return after she tries to get Cookie to, right?
No,
No,
doesn't.
she never comes back.
I
She
wanted
never
to know
comes-
what she wanted.
He just doesn't meet up with her, and that's that. That's the.
It was
that-
gonna
Yeah,
be
he
a nothing.
ditches her.
It was gonna be a nothing conversation. Like I was expecting them to have the closure, but he finally gets there after going through all this stuff, and she's like, "Do you want to hang out on Saturday?" And that's it.
So
Like-
are they formally dating?
I think so.
This is the worst relationship ever. He's such
No.
a fucking dirtbag. Like,
I don't
he-
think that they're.
He
I don't
never
think they
shows
are.
up. He beats the shit out of her grandma all the time. He's just a fucking dog shit person.
I don't think they're dating because I don't think they would call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, but it could be that like classic like thing where you're like, you chilling.
I guess that's
You're vibing.
What is
true.
dating like
That's
in
not-
middle school?
That's not dating.
you don't
You don't
hold
have
hands.
to be. You don't have to
That's
be.
it. I don't know because I didn't
Well,
date in middle school.
Neither did I. I mean, I was a child.
No, that's a good point though. You don't have to be BFGF status to be dating.
You don't.
Right.
But in middle school,
So they might be seeing each other loosely.
Middle
It's
school
an
is
open.
about-
It's an
how
open
do you
middle
see
school
each other
relationship.
loosely in middle school. You can't drive anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. You see each other in the hallway.
That's it.
Yeah, you like
Yes.
sup.
Is that how that works? I don't know how this works.
Dude,
I didn't have any. middle
we
school
gotta have a
relations.
guest on here who had social skills in middle school to be able to talk about that.
I had social skills. I just was in a
Doubt
class of like 12 people.
Who was a player in middle school?
God.
Yeah, God.
Apparently, study hall is in the civics/government like social studies classroom because everything that's around.
You're telling
them,
me Mr. Lowe is a social studies teacher?
I think he's a sub, right?
I think he's a fucking
Is he
loser.
Is he,
He's a
is
staff
I think
member,
he's
like I was talking about.
loser.
He's
definitely a
generic
loser.
staff. He just fills in where needed.
he's eating hot Cheetos and he can't take the
Dude's
heat.
such a loser. He's
Yeah.
asking Ned for tips on how to turn his life around.
Hey Ned, let me ask you a couple questions.
And Ned just tells him to take his glasses off because he's ugly.
Well, sometimes I like to take my glasses off, and I look good without them, but I can't see nothing.
Look at myself in the mirror.
We find
and
out he has
masturbate.
hyper-developed hearing though because he doesn't have good eyes.
Yeah, he's like Daredevil.
Yeah, he's Daredevil.
Honestly, this guy should have been played by Ray Romano. Though. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
That would have been so tight.
Cookie
Can you
tries
imagine
to.
a Ray Romano cameo in this show?
Have we talked about Mose with her head being in traction?
Yeah, she's getting hung.
So she's like got a water bottle that she has to throw over some
Water
sort of
bag.
a water sack that she has to throw over a fulcrum. A pulley.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I remember when I originally saw this episode, I thought it was an IV. It ain't. It's just
Well,
literally
it is an IV bag, but the bag
no,
is
but it's
only
massive. You
It's
wouldn't
not an
use
IV
that for
bag.
IV
That
shit.
is like a. I
I
don't know
don't
what
even
that
know
would
what
be.
you'd use it for.
So
You put it in a
exactly
backpack,
that.
a backpack to drink out of when you're running.
No, that's a camel pack.
Yeah, that's what
This
I'm
is
saying.
too
That's
big
what
for
that
a
is.
camel pack.
Well, I mean, extra large hiking style.
I
think-
suppose this could be how traction works. Is this how traction is traction just like a water weight?
I mean,
to
it makes
counter-
sense because you can like whatever.
You're gonna
your
have to
doctor,
ask Kellen. You're gonna want to take a screenshot and send it to her.
But it wouldn't be. It's not a mobile unit that you're fucking walking around with, and you set it up in a classroom, then you set it up in the next.
no,
classroom.
she's hooked it up to the blinds.
Yeah, she's supposed to be
That's why she's gotta
bedridden
be
with
at the
this.
blinds.
I feel like she's supposed to be bedridden, not moving at all with this setup.
Yeah, I mean, this
Right?
pinched nerve
I don't know.
is
It's
not.
not-
It's
it's-
not gonna go away on its own.
It's not even a neck brace that she's got on, though. Is the thing?
No,
She's-
It's some weird head pulley thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing to really. I don't even know why isn't she wearing a neck brace?
It would. It should. She should. Yeah, because she needs to have the gags. Because oftentimes, like Mr. Lowe, he pulls the blinds. Oops, it's not the blinds. It's her
Oh,
neck thing.
he's
So
I,
it
hanging.
hurts
I,
your neck.
I get the gags, but I'm talking about reality, real life shit here.
Also,
I know you're talking about real
I
shit.
doubt Mr. Lowe is strong enough to pull her up from her seat.
He's not. He's weak as fuck. He's
He's
a weakling.
beta.
He's a beta
Right.
male.
He is the real life version of Mr. Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents.
But yeah, he should have killed Mose when he did that.
Mr. Crocker's
Less
more
crazy.
I didn't
Less
watch.
eccentric.
I didn't watch
Mr.
a lot
Crocker's
of
more
Fairly Odd
evil.
Parents. Yeah, Mr.
But he's very
Crocker's
thin
evil.
like him is really what I was getting at.
I guess.
Thin and sickly. Mr. Crocker's the most thin and sickly man you've ever
And I
seen.
think Mr. Crocker was like a mama's boy. This guy probably is too.
Oh,
in
yeah,
some
for
sort
sure.
of
Yeah,
way.
he lives with his mom.
Right.
Don't hate on that. I
No, it's
still live
dope.
with mine.
Trevor's a mama's boy.
Well, you also live with your dad.
Yeah,
That's
And your dog.
and my dog.
True.
Love that.
And the
dog.
chickens and the cows.
And
it's
the
a
chickens
it's a
and the-
compound, really.
It is.
It's the farm.
Yeah, it's
It's a different thing.
So, what are we rating this episode?
But
Gotta look at the camera, just be like, I don't know what's going on.
but we said Cook does the stupidest mistake. He does a rookie move.
he is a fucking rookie.
He's a rookie when it comes to scheming, apparently, because
I've
he just
never
goes,
seen a rookie.
He goes
like
up
him.
to the guy 15 minutes early, and he goes, "Give me the hall pass or give me the bathroom pass," and then he takes it from the guy, and then he goes back to his chair, and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Cookie?"
What are you doing?
And then Cookie's like, "I need this in 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom exactly in 15 minutes, like because he's ridiculous."
And then Toot motherfucker comes up. He
Well,
knows
yeah,
what he's doing.
but Mr. Lowe is like, "You can't just check it out early." And then Toot comes over, and I thought Toot and Cook were buds because
I thought they were tight.
they were scheming in the last
But
episode.
this is what we were saying last time. I think that maybe our order is fucked. You remember?
That could
because
be
the
true.
last. Okay, so Trevor, to fill you in a little bit, the previous episode
could be true.
that we just watched that will be airing before this. It
Okay.
hasn't aired yet technically when we're recording, but it was completely leading up like so well to a finale. They're talking about things that are about to happen. The school year's wrapping up. They're finishing. They're talking about summer school, and everything is leading to a finale. But then we have this episode, which we talked about. They're like, we were like, listen, if next episode has nothing to do with a finale or summer or anything,
yeah.
then we fucked up. What
Yeah,
was
this
that?
This is about to die.
The GoPro just died.
Oh.
I'll plug it in during the interim.
So, and I think we may have fucked up. Is basically what I was.
Okay.
What I'm
Well,
saying.
it's not our fault. It's not our fault.
No, it's not our fault because listen, the IMDb thing is fucked up and different. The Amazon thing is fucked up and different, and then so is the air dates. So like, what
And
are we
we're
supposed to be
air date-
going off of?
air
We're air date, just like
Yeah.
Drake and Josh. We went off air date to our demise.
Yeah.
Oh, was that wrong? Yeah, that was wrong.
It
as
was
well.
wrong.
It's correct in the sense that is true how they were aired.
Well,
but
that's
they
what we were trying to do for this Ned pod.
they
as well.
only did that because I guess they were trying to stretch it out because it really should have been a different order.
But Toot Toot leaves
Based on
with
the
the
story.
fucking pass. We don't see him a goddamn again till the end. He never returns.
No, he's gone.
Well, if he was
He's
he
gone.
introduced in the last episode?
Oh,
Toot Toot
Toot's
has-
been around,
Dude, Toot Toot has severe IBS.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
he
So-
acts like
we
he's
got
a
down. We got down to earth. Toot last time.
Listen, man, he acts like he's a superhuman. He acts like but there's it's blessings and curses for Toot Toot. I think.
Like we got actual lines out of him in the last episode where he was real with Cook. He was like, listen,
Yes, it's like why would he be a 3-dimensional character and then revert back to a 2-dimensional character?
it wouldn't happen. I
gag.
think we fucked up.
It helped. No, I think
I think the showrunners fucked up.
you
Yes.
now know who he is, so there's not a lot of explanation needed for
Yeah.
him to come in and cause trouble.
But him and Cook are boys.
that doesn't mean anything. Cook didn't tell him that he was going to go meet Vanessa.
Everybody-
Toot Toot
Yeah,
comes
but
up.
he stood right in front of Cook. He blasted him in the ass.
Yeah, he did, but that's because he needed the bathroom. What are you going to do? I would cut in front of my friend if I was about to shit my pants. I would absolutely cut in front of my
Toot
friend.
Toot's not gonna shit his pants. The only thing he's gonna do is fart loudly into that bowl.
Yeah, and why does it take him
Hella
so long?
loud.
Why is he gone the whole episode?
He might.
Well,
shit
like
his
you
pants.
said, severe IBS.
Yeah.
It happens.
So, not to be disgusting or
Anyways,
crass,
Cookie
guys.
never.
There's
makes it out.
so everybody's avoiding Mose because, like you said, she's facing against the wall.
They think she has
with
disease.
the blinds. They think that she can
Yeah,
catch
she
pinched
says-
nerve. She says
yeah.
you can't catch pinched nerve.
Also, Cook goes into the ducts this episode. He goes up.
They
into
go
air
in the
duct.
vents.
Overly large vents again.
We always
That's a
refer
gag.
to if
I
we
know
were
it's a
going to
gag.
do a
It's
drinking game.
classic.
That would be the ultimate. That would
It
be
would be one of the
so
it would be
hard. One of the
things.
things to on there.
Take a shot whenever they get in
Well,
over
yeah,
large
your
vents.
your
Yeah.
free spot obviously on the card. Your free spot would be Ned gives a tip. I mean, obviously that's a free spot, but one of the things would be somebody goes into the duct.
Yeah.
You know,
Or the big fan comes out. That's
Hey,
another
big
one.
fan
at
would
this
be a good
point.
one.
That would be a.
I mean, we'll make the.
Remember
what?
ducks from
Huh?
yesterday?
Maybe
Hmm?
we should work on that
Never mind.
today.
I think that will make the game, and I think maybe we'll play the game. And
But yeah, they go in the vents because Cookie
Holy
is
fuck.
trying to fucking break out of study hall. He is trying to get out of this goddamn room because he's trying to get with Vanessa, dude.
They're definitely gonna have sex.
He doesn't know what's gonna happen. It might be that she. It might
That's
be
fucked up.
It's possible she's just trying to tell him, hey, for
We're
real,
over?
I can't be with you. So like, leave me alone, dude.
So good that he didn't go, I guess.
That's possible. That's
But
what
if
she's
it's
trying
really
to
like
say.
to leave me alone, why doesn't she just like avoid him?
True.
Because I feel like if she avoided him enough,
Are you?
he's of the brain where like he wouldn't even remember.
Are you of the?
He
the
would just be
thought
on to
of
the next
ghosting
thing?
is okay because ghosting is not okay.
Yeah, it's okay depending on the circumstance.
No,
for sure.
ghosting is not okay.
I think
If-
sometimes
As someone who has been ghosted multiple times,
if the
ghosting
dude's a
is
creep,
the worst.
If the dude's a creep,
I
ghosting
think sometimes
is
you
okay.
have to ghost. Unfortunately.
Think about it the girl's perspective, Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor.
Just tell me. I'll stop talking to you 100% if you tell me I don't give a shit about you. I
But
was like,
but,
all right,
but
bye.
not
Take a hint,
not
bro.
everybody's gonna take that approach, and they'll get mad and they'll get angry and they'll start to attack.
Then you ghost, but you got to give somebody a heads up.
Then
We
you
live in a
attack
scary
back, you
world. We live in a
retaliate, my
scary
man.
world, Trevor.
I don't like it. I don't like. I do not condone ghosting.
This is a once again hashtag cancel Trevor.
But a classic thing happens when Cookie enters the vents. He just gets he gets lost up there. He goes in one vent, comes out the other in the same room. Classic. So
How do
he
you
busts
look
busts
down?
back into the same room.
Look down.
And Mr. Lowe's
Never.
like, "Hey, what are you trying to escape?"
I feel
So
like that's the episode, right?
Yeah, more or less.
He's like the one pass of
I
the
took
he
took
oh,
6 notes.
I noticed a flub, a line flub.
Hit me with it.
Mr. Lowe
Brother?
flubs the line. He says, the one pass at a rule time does not apply to like medical. He was supposed to say the one pass at a rule time.
no.
The one rule at a time pass.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
one-
the one
the
pass.
one
One
pass
of those
at a
is
time
one of
rule.
those
One
right.
pass at
The
a
one
time
pass at a
rule.
time
One of those
rule.
is right.
None of those are right until I said the one pass at
Clearly,
a time
the
rule.
line is difficult to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says the one
Regardless.
pass at a rule time. That's what he says.
Yeah, but he said it fast enough to where like the people on set were like, he
I
hit his
caught it,
line.
though.
They were like, he hit his line.
I didn't catch it until I like 15 seconds after he said it. I was like, did he say that?
And then
said
Trevor
that?
backed you up, and I just didn't say a word.
I
thought you
agreed.
backed me up.
I think Trevor did.
No, I
Okay.
got
I
you.
didn't turn my head, so I didn't
That's
know which.
fair enough. I got you, bro.
So do we want to rate the episode?
He's eating the flaming Cheetos. He chugs Moses' disgusting water.
Which is weird, yeah.
Yeah, her
Ned
piss
goes,
water.
"You could build the classic bookberry. You just put some
Oh
textbooks
yeah.
of
Do you
To be
brand-
fair,
have
the
all
book barrier-
do you have all the things he said?
some of the notes?
All of his tips?
I mostly just have
Wear
the book,
headphones was one of them.
Yeah,
so you
wear
tune people
headphones.
out.
and he tries to trick everybody. He wears headphones that are not plugged in, but under the table, Loomer and the boys, they plug his headphones into their sick ghetto blaster that has some heavy metal music turned up all the way on there.
Yeah.
And they blast his eardrums
Mhm.
out. They actually fry his eardrums.
Did you notice the input?
His ears are smoking.
The input. Those were studio headset. That was a studio headset because of how big that the aux hookup was. I guess it would be an auxiliary hookup, but it's like the oversized one, like for an amp. That was not
It was
a
like
standard.
a quarter-inch output.
Yeah, that was not a standard sized output.
What kind of fucking they must have had some sort of a serious
They didn't plug it in. I think they just stuck it to the back of it and then just was like, "That was it. It's good. Fine."
Listen, it's just a prop. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all post production.
It's
But yeah, the
huge.
classic book barrier, he puts textbooks up, Cookie smashes through those because
The
that's
book
not
barrier
gonna
is
work.
not used for studying.
I don't
The
think
book
that's
barrier
classic.
is
Yeah,
used-
I don't think that's classic.
No.
Cookie cries for 7 minutes straight. We don't see the whole time, but he starts out by saying, "I only got 10 minutes to see her," and then they cut again, and they're like,
And-
"I only got 3 minutes to see her."
And Mr. Lowe is wearing a sweater vest with a short sleeve
Mr. Lowe's a bitch.
button up
dude.
with a tie,
Yeah.
Mr. Lowe is a coward.
which is an insane
coward.
outfit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he's like, "Listen, Ned, I hear you're the guy people come to when they want to have help." And so he's like, "What do I gotta do?" And then Ned tricks
Blinds
him into taking his glasses off. He's like, "You're a sexy man without
That's
your
where we
glasses."
find out he's Daredevil.
Was there
yes,
there like
that's when Cook
a
tries
show?
to sneak away. The latch of the door opening.
Barely. It's
Mr.
just
Lowe
it's
hears
he
that.
touches the doorknob and he hears it.
But wasn't there an actual show like where like a high school kid was like being a psychiatrist and prescribing drugs to students?
Brick?
Like
Is
doing
it a
like
movie
in a
Brick?
bathroom.
You're talking about the UK version of Skins.
Am I?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Oh, I just remember seeing commercials a long time ago for like this kid who was like
Are you talking
a
about those
bathroom
commercials?
psychologist.
And
He
then
was
the
like
third-
in a bathroom in a high school, like listening to people's problems and then prescribing them drugs. with like some other doctor's.
I don't
like,
know if I
pad.
recall.
You're
talking
talking about fucking Max Keeble's big move with the guy with the PDA.
Nah,
No,
dude,
I'm
no,
not.
dude.
You remember?
You're thinking of fucking...
Is that Orlando Brown?
What is it?
Somebody out there's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Okay, but let's rate the episode.
Let's
right?
rate the episode.
Well,
I'm gonna give it a 6
Fine,
out of
wait,
10.
Last scene, Cookie,
Ned gets drenched.
and Mose are
the
all,
final gag with
yeah.
Mose's water bag is that it gets launched and blasts Ned while he's studying at the teacher desk.
Because
what ultimately happens, Ned's
Yeah.
tip is ask the teacher to use their desk if you want to be
No,
segregated from the
it
other
wasn't a
students.
tip. I think he just offered the desk.
Yeah, the teacher offered it because
That
Ned
wasn't
was
even a
super
tip because
nice.
Ned knows in reality this is never gonna happen.
That was a real ass move on Mr. Lowe's
That
part.
was
He's
just
like,
him being
was.
real.
he offered his goddamn desk to Ned,
That was
his-
nice. Nobody
his-
will bother him.
and then Ned bombed it.
And that was
gets
when
drenched.
being real goes wrong, or whatever the Chappelle Show sketch.
Anyway.
when being
Anyways.
drenched goes wrong.
Ned, Cookie, and Mose are all in the weird neck brace thing at the end of the episode for the next
That's the
day.
final gag.
6 out of
yes.
10.
Okay.
I thought it was subpar fine.
It was okay.
Subpar/fine.
Kirk?
Kirk hit me with it.
I think that you guys have guilted me into changing.
Do not do it. You do it so frequently.
I don't.
I haven't given a number yet.
No, last half. I'm giving last half 8.5. I'm giving this one a 7.
Come on. The 9 needs to stick.
You want me to stick the 9?
Yeah, because we need to have that sparkle 9.
You already did it. You
You
can't
guys were
change it.
shitting on that episode.
I wasn't
didn't.
shitting on it. I never shit on
I
it.
gave it a normal rating. I gave it. It was a 7 out of 10 is what I gave it.
All right. This is all
I
right.
don't remember what I gave it.
I'm
You
still
go off
giving-
your heart.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll keep it 9 on the other one, but this is 7 on this one.
This one I give. I think.
But a strong 7, I would say.
What did you give this?
I gave it a 6 out of 10. He gave it a 7.
Fuck, I was about to give it a 6 as well.
I mean, you can do the same rating.
That's not against the rules at all.
You could do what Will did.
anything, it
and give
validates the
second
rating
half
more.
A fucking enormously worse. He gave it a 4 out of 10.
Wow, really?
He did the first half, I think, an 8,
That's
and then
Will,
the
though.
second
He's
half
grumpy.
a 4.
Will's a grumpy. Sorry, Will.
He is easy to give off a low rating.
I'll give it a 6. Yeah, it was fine. It was
Right on.
whatever. It wasn't anything that funny in this episode.
Yeah.
I am very excited for the finale, though.
Yeah.
That's next episode.
Yeah, the season 2 finale. They're gonna go to fucking 8th grade. I'm excited.
Oh, and Vanessa's gonna be gone.
Yeah, because this is some sort of last day
What's
scenario.
gonna happen to
where-
Vanessa?
I don't even know what the next episode's about. The finale.
Vanessa's
like
gonna have
double
to be
dates
like
and
thrown
something
into a volcano or some shit. That's like gonna be crazy.
She's gonna die.
I don't know.
Find out.
I
Tune
hope there's
in
some
next
real
time.
Cookie's
shit.
gonna be wearing black like a widow.
Tune in next time, guys. It's too bad we can't get a nice close up of Kirk in this. I guess the GoPro died.
The GoPro died. I'll have to charge it in the meantime.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys for the next ep. Thanks for listening. Let's do some shout outs.
Shout out at Devin Works Harder at Pinky Pinkston, and these are the Instagram accounts of the people of Ned's,
The Ned
Right.
actors.
right? So these are, you know who they are.
You hit them up.
Talk
you know
about
what to
at
do.
Lady M Shosters, at Daniel _Curtis_Lee. We know they're all leaning into their Ned's past. We know that they're all.
We've seen it.
The nostalgia movement is
Yeah,
big
the
now,
nostalgia
right?
movement is hard and
Get 'em
fast
on.
and swift and clean.
And we're trying to get these guys on the pod. There's only one fucking season left. Dude.
Trevor, you got anything to plug?
Shit.
Harbor Boys podcast. This
We
whole
don't
network
have
that we're
a
on.
Harbor Boys podcast.
At Harbor_Boys. Maybe we should start one.
I guess Show Me Something. Listen to Show Me Something as well. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, look
mean,
out for
It's
our
good. Air quotes.
Everybody, I think that the feed might be confusing, and it's an elephant in the room.
What do you mean?
What's
Do you
confusing?
think it's confusing for people that the Ned's feed and then the Drake and Josh podcast feed, but then also there's the Show Me Something? It's like, what the fuck is Show Me Something? Sprinkled in with my Nickelodeon podcast programming.
I think they're
You
gonna
think
have to
that throws
fucking deal
people
with.
off?
I'm paying for 2 threads.
Exactly. Right.
Also, guys, keep your eyes peeled for our Patreon behind the scenes podcast, Homeroom.
We have
the
yet to
Homeroom
set up a
podcast.
Patreon, but hey, let us know if you want to support us. We'll set up
Listen,
a
the
Patreon.
name is too good to not.
We know you
do
guys
it.
want more content.
The Homeroom is so good.
Homeroom's really good. We also were thinking about doing behind the scenes stuff for Show Me Something a little bit.
And we have a gaming channel coming up soon.
That is possible. It's unlikely, but
Well,
possible.
we'll catch you guys for the next episode.
We're only gonna play Risk
Stay Ned
and
or stay
GeoGuessr.
dead.
Oh my God! What? That's what you say?
Fuck yeah, dude.
And that's how it ends.